Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and all those in between. My name is Leland, and there is no game series I love more than Orcs Must Die. Now, recently they released a new edition in the series, Orcs Must Die Deathtrap, and despite its release being only some days ago, I can confidently say that this is officially my favorite game. However, the reviews on Steam are mixed, and because of that, I want to talk about the reviews and why they're mostly very whiny and dumb. So, let's read some of these reviews, shall we? It's so bad. Horrible characters, no corridors, and no kill boxes. Terrible performance, full of stuttering. I'm on a 4080 Super. Bad UI, feels like a bad early access game. Why would you want an open map in an OMD game? It's like they wanted to make Fortnite with a couple of OMD elements here and there. What a fiasco. It's like Robot Entertainment wants to kill the OMD franchise. Well, first off, the statement about the characters is just objectively wrong. Each character has unique weapons and abilities, all of which fit well in different playstyles, and all of the characters have wonderful looks and designs. As for no corridors and kill boxes, well, that's just not true. There are still corridor opportunities, multiple on each map in fact. But I suppose you shouldn't expect someone with 0.3 hours in the game to know that, now should you? As for performance, I play on a mediocre laptop that only cost me $1,000, so not exactly a supercomputer. And yet I have really never experienced any form of stuttering for this game. As for the comparison of the game to Fortnite, what? Next review. New characters and heroes look like some low-quality AI-generated artwork, completely lacking originality. I don't understand this hate for the artwork, it really isn't bad at all, and is pretty consistent with the rest of the series. The characters are all designed in pretty rad unique ways, even introducing a character from a species we haven't seen yet, the Riftkin. And why do the characters and heroes look like California liberal college students with $200,000 in student loan debt and no job? What the hell are you even talking about? This is such a weird thing to say, but I guess to be fair, this game does have a powerful black woman, which some people seem to not like, an elf twink with an earring, an obviously asexual trans man, not canon, I'm just joking, and, well, a bear. Why can't I be a beefy, manly man like Max? Gay. Mowing down hordes of orcs with a preferred weapon type of my choosing. Why is male masculinity a bad thing? Please bring back weapon selection. This is such a weird comment, mixing this man's fragile concept of masculinity with weapon selection. If being a literal bear with a hammer isn't manly, what even is at this point? Also, I hope they never add weapon selection to this game, honestly. This is a hero-based game with unique differences for each one. It would be ridiculous for Carlos to have Ren's wand, or Sophie to have Carlos' hammer, or Mac's wrench. She's way too tiny for both of those. You can't really aim the melee abilities correctly at all. For example, the bear's leap smash special attack, sometimes you go really far, sometimes you smash in front of you. Same issue comes up on both controller or mouse and keyboard. Now I'm gonna be real. I love the melee characters, especially Carlos. He just like me, for real. But it doesn't take much work to realize how these abilities work. With the leap smash ability for Carlos and the blade throw for Sophie, both work in the same way. It does one thing when used, but a different version of the thing when in a swinging combo. For Carlos, it's either leaping forward and smashing down, or doing an in-place smash while swinging. For Sophie, it's either throwing a dagger you can aim, useful for flyers or ranged enemies, or you throw 6 daggers around you, which is good for when you have many enemies around you. Now, my 12-year-old sister, with not much gaming knowledge beyond how to play Fortnite, has played about 2 games with Sophie, and then proceeded to accurately tell me why she thinks the leap smash ability, keep in mind she's never played Carlos, works this way. Anyways, range have a glaring advantage over melee. Melee straight up can't counter air enemies. You can kinda melee in the air, but you are too slow to hit anything. It's pure luck if you hit something in the air. Now, this is just once again wrong. It's honestly not hard at all to hit flowers. Even the baby bats can be hit without even jumping. Both melee and ranged are on pretty even playing ground in my opinion. I am sure the decision to launch the game in this state was an upper leadership call. That was 100% a bad call, and you should listen to your dev team and feedback more closely. Focus on the game and end user experience itself. Keep politics and personal feelings out of the game industry. What? What politics and personal feelings is this guy even talking about? This is a game about killing fucking orcs, dude. And that's the thing about these lower hour reviews. It's the ravings of madmen who for some reason think this is woke propaganda by the liberal mob, brought to you by a game studio in Texas. This game really doesn't feel incomplete. It has its core aspects down and is planning more game modes and characters and a whole lot more. That's typically how making games fucking works. Now onto the next review. And yes, all of that was from one man. I can't in good conscience recommend this game. I have played Orcs Must Die 1, 2, 3, and Unchained. I have enjoyed each and every one of them. I bought them for my friends. I've loved every minute of it. This game isn't Orcs Must Die. Sure, it has the same skins, but it's not the same game. Each chapter of Orcs Must Die has maintained a certain kind of playstyle. This disregards it. The roguelite element, it's fine. Almost fun. Okay, dude. The rest, just not fun. It's tedious. It's nothing like the trailer. You don't have hundreds of traps and kill lines. I most certainly do have a shit ton of traps and kill lanes. For each player who joins your co-op, you get less choosable traps and less barricades. Yes, barricades are limited. Whoever came up with that? And Robot is doubling down on the whole limited barricade thing. Yes, sir, that's called game balancing. If 4 players have the same amount of slots as solo, then you could end up bringing 32 different traps, assuming everyone has an extra loadout slot from the skill tree. There are 34 traps in the game currently, meaning you would be able to bring all but 2 if you wanted. Now tell me, why would you need to do that? For what purpose? If you had 22 barricades instead of the 16 with 4 people, then that's an even more constant advantage because then you have 4 people on this one exit crowding it, which I honestly don't think contributes to the fun. A co-op experience needs to give people a reason to be co-op, and making it so the team has to split up and cover ground is a great way to do that. Also, I love the limits on barricades, because quite frankly, while I loved setting up never-ending death mazes in the previous games, it always came to a point where I was just sitting back and going, well, my traps are doing everything now, so guess I'll just sit here, and get rather bored sometimes. In this game, you can still do that, but also can end up needing to contribute a lot more to the fight thanks to the barricade limit, and that to me is such a tremendous win. There was a certain charm to Orcs Must Die 1, 2, and 3. The characters had personalities. Max would drop some idiotic lines, people would laugh, orcs would laugh. It felt fun. This feels empty. I don't know who these 5 kids are. Why would he know who these 5 kids are? The new trainees for the Order. And for fuck's sake, what the hell is it with, let's put kids in this game, that would make it fun? Enough of the damn kids. Well, typically, the new people to the Order are kids training to be war mages. I mean, Max was probably just a few years older than them when he first started, so I don't know what the deal is. I don't care about these kids. These kids are not funny, or witty, or even stupid. Why is one of them a bear? Why is one of them a bear? Because there's a race of bear people called grizzlies? I mean, you said you played Unchained. You telling me you forgot Tundra, Oathkeeper of Arctos, a literal playable polar bear character, as well as the rest of the Arctos grizzlies and regular grizzlies that served as the Order's attackers when you played this side of the Unchained and Unchained? Not to mention, this is a fantasy game, dude. What do you expect other than fantasy characters? Is that a ferret or a fox? When my 12-year-old sister first looked at this character selection screen, she immediately chose Sophie while saying, "This one's a cat, I want to play her." Because, well, she likes cats. Because she's a girl. And my friend Jameson could tell it was a cat by the trailer just by looking at the back of her head. But the fact that you look at this and think ferret and fox when this is literally a super common and popular breed of cat with many that look like it, I can't help but think you need to be locked in an institution. Who the frack knows? Who the frack knows? Come on, dude. Look, I want to like this game. I do. There are elements of it that aren't awful, just not many. Okay, buddy. Next review. I'm a big fan of these games, but I can't get 2 maps in on solo. It's too big for solo. Need more barricades to make a dent. I hope this is improved soon. So many people complain about it being too difficult for solo. And yet, another YouTuber by the name of Miyu has literally got 30 missions in one run. My highest is 7 because I keep gambling on red rifts and losing. It's an addiction. I mean, even my sister can play and get past 2 missions, so like, get good. Please add single play mode. This one's just silly. So I was about to do this section talking about the downsides I do have for the game. However, they released the new 1.0.9 update, and this has done things like make double white a curse thread, so that way it's more of a danger, not just a super easy pick all the time. It's made the Cyclops Druid have a lot less health, which is great, because that was like the only issue with an enemy I've had in this whole entire game. I'm sure many other players know what I'm talking about. And they've also made the Steam vent an actually useful trap, because honestly, I didn't like it before. It was useless and it had no real purpose, and now it makes it an anti-air trap, which I love because that makes the Cyclops Druids a lot easier to take care of once again. They've of course done other things with this update too, but those were like the main big 3 that stuck out to me that I really am glad for. And that just goes to show how much these people really did jump onto the negative reactions, because they did the same thing in the comments for the trailers. A lot of people really jumped on things such as Maximilian not being present because they didn't know at the time that he obviously would be. I don't know why it was even a question, they'd obviously add him in the future anyway. But yeah, more of the story is, people with different opinions than me make me mad.